Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Engelgeist. This is Dan, and welcome to the channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is the daily reading for all signs. It is originally created for Tuesday, May 10th. It is not solely set for that date. You can utilize it whenever you're viewing the video, so don't get stressed out about the date or worry about that. It is a collective reading, so I speak in broad terms. You have to figure out where it best fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. It just means you might be working on something different at this time, right? And each one of you is going to see or experience this reading in a different way around maybe a different area of your life, so keep that in mind. Ways to support the channel, please check out the drop-down menu underneath the daily video. In there are some house rules that I want you to think about. Please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, leave a question or comment, and share the channel out or share a video out if you enjoyed it. Beyond that, let's just get into the reading and see what the cards want us to know today. Oh, I will be referring to the Sunday underpinning energy. That video populates at the end of this video in the lower left-hand corner. It's also been called out to my attention that you guys can't hear me necessarily over the shuffling. Sorry about that. It's the mic is, somebody asked me yesterday, they were like, do you wear a headset or did you used to wear a headset? I can't hear you. And I don't know if I need to speak louder or maybe it's this deck. It might be, it's all working off the same mic off of the computer. So it picks up all the sound, but I think it's picking up the shuffling because it's in front of my voice. Because I'm shuffling right in front of my body. So if you can't hear, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. So let's see what's going on. So we have the Five of Swords. Interesting depiction here. Five of Swords is like the card that is kind of like, I always call it the lonely at the top card, right? Swords is the air element, which is about the intellect, our thoughts, our mind, the realm of the mind, how we communicate those thoughts, communication in between ourselves and others, right? The Five of Swords, fives always indicate change, like things shifting, things changing, right? So they're more, when I see a five, I always think of, okay, well, this may not be the best experience, but at least it's temporary, right? You know what I mean? Like it's rolling over, it's shifting, and we might have to go through some discomfort in that change or that shift. Sometimes we like things to stay steady and understandable. Fives don't necessarily present that. Fives to me present change, and usually more often than not, people don't like change. They want things to stay status quo. Now, I don't get a bad feeling from this card because if you reference the Sunday reading, right, which was the underpinning, it's a very dynamic week this week, is my feeling. There's a lot of sort of wanting it, making it real, and then going after it, like opening the door to it. So where I'm going with this Five of Swords, first off, is swords are complementary to the fire. And we start off the week with the Queen of Wands, right? So we've still got that Queen of Wands energy underneath this Swords energy in a way. And air, which is swords, feeds fire, and fire consumes air. They're complementary to one another. So when I see the Five of Swords here and it being about change, it feels like we might be having to look at some of our triggers, some of our thoughts, some of our resentments, some of the things that we maybe harbor that don't necessarily serve us, right? That would be the Five of Swords experience in a way. Five of Swords is traditionally depicted as kind of like a fight that's happened. And although the person has won the fight and they've got all of the swords, two people are sort of dejected and walking away. And that person, this is what I mean by it's lonely at the top, meaning if we fought for our position, for our belief, for our side in a way so hard that we maybe had to lose something in the process, was it really worth it, is kind of how the Five of Swords presents itself to me. It always is that kind of question of, well, great, you got your point across, but you might have had a couple of casualties in the experience, right? Like, we've proven our point, but was it really worth it? Essentially, is kind of, did you get what you wanted out of it? And oftentimes, I feel like with the Five of Swords, no, we don't necessarily. We maybe get our point across, but we realize, oh shit, I might have hurt them, or they may understand, but they're no longer around, kind of thing, right? So when I look at this card, though, I don't necessarily get that sense, but what I do get this sense of, and it has to do with her nudity and kind of her bottom being shown, is it feels to me like this area of thought, communication, or maybe it could be egoic in a way, right? Our mind kind of kicking in and going, yeah, but I need to be right, or I need to prove this, or I need to say this for everything to be okay. Her naked bottom there says to me, you actually are showing your underbelly. You're making yourself sort of maybe potentially weaker or vulnerable to maybe being misunderstood, not understood at all, or maybe losing something in the process, right? Doesn't necessarily have to mean that it was a bad thing, right? But it does have this feeling of vulnerability to it, especially with her sitting there with her back to us and she's nude. So to me, it feels like, are we setting ourselves up for success with our thoughts, with the way we communicate our thoughts? Are we so stuck in our thoughts that we have to prove them to others as right, or have others validate them for ourselves? And I feel like with the Queen of Wands underneath this, the Queen of Wands doesn't need anybody else to validate her thoughts for her, right? She is the Queen of Wands. She owns everything and all aspects about her, even the stuff that, other people might find undesirable. She loves, she relishes in. She's like, screw you, I don't care, right? So when I see this Five of Swords, to me, it's almost like an opportunity for us to get clear on what it is that could potentially use some change or need some change within our thoughts and how we communicate, so that we can be on top and not necessarily have to be alone up there, right? So that we don't have to necessarily get so stuck on proving our point that we lose sight of the bigger picture. Does that make sense? And so keeping that in mind today, and even, we're at Tuesday, so we could be shifting a little bit into that King of Pentacles energy underpinning from Sunday's reading. But the King of Pentacles also, he doesn't need to prove himself. He's grounded, discerning, strong, generous, all of those things. So between the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles, this Five of Swords says to me that there might be some thoughts, the ways that we communicate that need changing, that need to be shifted. Some beliefs that we have in our brain that aren't necessarily serving us anymore. It's funny, she looks vulnerable to me, but those Five Swords, it's not necessarily traditionally, this is not a traditional Five of Swords meaning, but to me, I'm just going to point this out. This looks like a jail cell to me with the swords in front of her. And she's looking over her shoulder, kind of vulnerable, right? With her back and her bottom being shown to us. But she's kind of caught behind her own thoughts. So how do we change that? And we don't necessarily need somebody else to do that, right? There are thoughts, there are mind, there are belief systems. And remember, the stone this week is believe. So maybe today's a day where we reflect upon what it is we believe and how we communicate that. And is that truly serving the king and queen that are underpin this energy, because they want what they want. And that's part of who we are. Does that make sense? So I think that I get this little sense of this is like a little day of cleanup, a little day of fine tuning our thoughts, our mind, and being aware of what it is we do, and then maybe shifting a change in those thoughts and that communication, so that we're not vulnerable and so that we don't feel trapped by our own belief system. Does that make sense? So I actually see this as a really good card, and the fact that it is that it is a swords card feels to me like it is feeding the fire of that Queen of Wands and that desire within us. So to have what it is we want, we have to believe, right? And there's that word again, believe, from this week, that we're deserving, that we don't have to prove it to anyone, convince anyone of our case. That's oftentimes a Five of Swords sort of perception is that I need to sway them to my side, but when you get them there, that it's not really what you thought it was supposed to be, or it's not as fulfilling, or doesn't make it any more real for you, right? So today's the day to kind of work on that or look at that and go, okay, so what thoughts are in my way? What thoughts block me from getting what I want? What beliefs do that? Thus creating vulnerability to me. And I'm going to take this so literally as like, when do I have thoughts or communications that make me look like an ass? Right? Because we're looking at her bottom right there. And that's oftentimes a 5. It's like that sort of pie on the face feeling of like, oh, my alarm's going off. It's time to get up. 1 second, guys. Let me shuffle. I'll be right back. Sorry. What are you doing? I hope you're being good. Hope you're doing good. So it's that idea of like, where can I let go of certain things that kind of put me in a position of vulnerability or trap me in my own mind, in my own thinking, in my own belief system that doesn't serve me. And I think that this is a good thing. 5s that ideally are not permanent. They are about shifting and changing. And so let's have that. So here we go. Embracing enthusiasm. Shout to the heavens with happiness. And again, speaking to the 5 of swords, right? 5s being about change. Change is about transformation. And these butterflies here are symbols of transformation, right? She's transforming maybe her thoughts in embracing enthusiasm rather than pessimism, feeling stuck, trapped in her mind. There's like a liberation that I feel like with this embracing enthusiasm, right? Getting excited. And the other thing I will say is yesterday's card was that Knave of Wands, also fire energy, but knaves or pages always to me, because of their youth, represent sort of enthusiasm. So embracing this idea of staying open-minded and being willing to chase happiness, transform our thoughts into something that's positive and looking towards the future, especially she is definitely looking towards the future. She is kind of like looking at the now, like where we're at now, but her head is also sort of turned towards the past. Like, are we going to stay stuck in the past? Or are we going to be in the now, kind of look at this stuff, let it go, and move forward in enthusiasm and joy and belief, and believe in ourselves and create new thoughts? I love this sort of mist too, because to me that definitely gives an air element vibe, which coincides nicely with the swords, and these butterflies are air animals in a way. So let's read Embracing Enthusiasm. Great, they've come in to wrestle to show you how strong my dogs are. They're going to have Thunderdome right now here in the room as I'm reading it. So enjoy for all the ladies out there that like to see rough dogs behave badly. All right. Shout to heavens with happiness. Stop waiting on the sidelines. To heal your life and reach your goals, get up and take some risks. Break a few rules. Breaking rules is totally Queen of Wands. Shout to the heavens with joy and exuberance. Clap your hands with glee. Be silly. Don't hold back. Allow childlike wonder to flood your life. Take a day off work. Experience and celebrate even the smallest events of life. Discover what's great about each day. This is not the time to be reserved. Embrace every aspect of life. Smell the daisies. Good times are ahead if you just let loose a bit. The Sacred Traveler wants you to know, an unseasoned traveler believes that happiness only comes after one has reached the destination. However, the Sacred Traveler knows that the faster way to manifest your dreams is to be happy now. You don't have to wait to experience joy. Your enthusiasm about what you already have will ignite miracles in your life. Without enthusiasm, something inside you sleeps. You must awaken. And then your relationships flourish, your health becomes vibrant, and your connections to the Creator deepens. So, setting ourselves free, changing our thoughts, Becoming aware of the more present moment now and transforming that and being enthusiastic about it is definitely the message for today. I'm going to get the grounding stone. And the grounding stone is just something that you should ground in while you're going through this day. And it is, we saw this last week, it's on carnelian, which is the first chakra. I love the orange, right, of this stone. It matches the orange of her hair. Also the fieriness that we're getting from the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands from this week. To me, and the word is embrace, okay? And we have embracing enthusiasm up there. We're being told to like grab our life, our thoughts, our ideas enthusiastically by the balls, basically. Embrace ourselves in all aspects. That's, to me, that's what the Queen of Wands is about, is she does not have any sort of insecurities about who she knows very clearly who she is. And she knows where her, like, you know, her strengths lie, and she knows where maybe her weaknesses lie, and she's not afraid of either. She'll use them all to her advantage. She embraces all of it, right? And so that's kind of what I feel like this reading is telling you today, is to embrace yourself wherever you may be. Whether you're stuck in thoughts that don't serve you, allow them to change by embracing them and just being in acceptance of them. And then embracing that enthusiasm for what's to come, for how it's to transform, for where it's going to lead you, for the excitement of the things that you have already. And when you open the door to that, then you open your door to new things coming to you also. And there's something new coming this week, guys. Remember and believe that. That's the other grounding stone in all of this. Thank you so much for tuning in. That is your reading. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, comment, subscribe, share the video out on your Facebook feeds or to your friends. Let people know about me, please, please, please. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow and seeing where this all goes. It should be an incredible week. Have a good day and take care. Bye-bye.